Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how to fill out the financial report for fiscal year 2022. Right now what you can see is the Councilmember landing page. All I have done is log in. If I ever want to get to this page, I can always click up here on Mass Cultural Council and it will bring me here. I can also click on Home and it will bring me here. Today, we're going to go directly into financial reporting. As you can see under the welcome doc, you can see a LCC financial reporting and grant decisions doc. And I'm calling doc this kind of grouping here where it goes together. There's one pending. I'm going to click on it. It's going to open a list view where I'm going to see any pending reports. Right now, there's only one, which is the financial report. I'm going to click on open. And this is where it brings me. So at the top, you can see your local cultural council financial report. That's the activity type. The due date is October 15, 2021. So that is coming up in about a month. The first thing you can do to have an idea, to have a map of what you're going to be doing in the financial report is you click on summary right here, this button, and it populates a PDF that includes all the questions and informational text, and it also will show your answer. So I've started entering some information here already. You will see that it shows up, but I'm going to scroll down somewhat quickly so you can get the general idea. Right now, this is page 1 of 3. It's only 3 pages long. It's showing me the account form. You can see all the information I've included, and they all have the header, which is a nice reminder of how many pages, what the document is, etc. So I'm going to close this for now, but this is something you can save and send to your local cultural council member so that they know how it was filled out. You can also print out a copy of this and give it to your municipality. So just a few things to consider. I'm going to close out of this for now. As I scroll down, I see that there's some informational text. Whenever there's something we think you should know before you start filling out the form, we'll put it here first. There are 2 sections to this financial report. One you can see right now, which is the LCC Account Form. Fiscal officers receive the LCC Account Form from us around August. And then during the month of September, you meet with them to go over it, see if there's any discrepancies. And that process leads you to filling out the financial report here. You are passing the information provided to you by your fiscal officer to this online form. So if you look at the boxes, they match the account form. They should be looking the same. All of these are currency fields. So when you enter it, it looks like this. And once you exit out, it adds the dollar symbol. Some of these fields will be self-calculating. Whenever that is the case, we will tell you to click on Save Drafts so you can calculate that. But let's go up a little bit. So this is due October 15th. You should be meeting with your fiscal officer by September 30th so you can have this complete. Box 1 is the same as the previous year. This account form is going over information from the last fiscal year. So everything's going to be from the previous fiscal year. It seems a little confusing, but that is exactly what we want. Box 1 says account balance for beginning of fiscal year, July 1st, 2020. We have that number there. Box 2 is the allocation that your council received from Mass Culture for that year. Box 3A, B, and C are a little bit different from last year. So now you can see that interest income is its own category. In the past, they've been lumped in with other revenue. So we want to make sure that we have clean data that we can use for advocacy efforts that you can use within your community to help inform the work that you are doing. So now there's 3 different categories. So municipal revenue is any money coming from your municipality, and that can be through a budget line item, that could be a one-time payment that you advocated for, that could be fundraising that they take care of and just pass the lump sum. So there's a variety of things. Interest income is the income that is generated by virtue of having your bank account and having some money in it. So this is usually a pretty low number. This is just like a passive income stream. So this is not something that's being advocated for or, really representing the work of the council. So that's why this is being put to the side. Other revenue is any sort of locally generated revenue that you have received. So that can be an event that you ran and you did some fundraising, or you had admission fees or something along those lines. That goes in other revenue. Box 4 adds up all the previous boxes. So that means the state allocation, that means whatever money you had in there, the municipal revenue, etc., etc. So this should be the total of the boxes that you filled up until now. Box 5 is total expenditure. So here we're not asking you to tell us what kind of expenditures they are, whether it is administrative or grantee or anything. We just want a total. Box 6 then equals the account balance for the end of the fiscal year. And this is fiscal year 21, this past fiscal year. And that is the total unspent local revenue. Box 7 is used if you have any money that you want to keep within your bank account for some reason. So maybe there is a 400th anniversary coming up for your municipality, so you're doing some fundraising and keeping it in the bank account to use it for next year. But other than that, all money that goes into the local cultural council bank account every year with the allocation should be given out in the granting process. There is no saving for rainy days. There's no just in case. This is money that should be going out into your community and being spent and helping boost the economy and the diversity and, the offerings that are within your town or city. So that's what that box is for, and you'll need it later if you do want to hold some money back. We'll talk about that soon. Box 8, Municipal Code. So this box used to be after the fiscal officer information, and now it's been moved up. So hopefully it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. It is a 4-digit code. It's a mix of letters and numbers that your municipal fiscal officer should give you. The next section, box 9, is the information on who the fiscal officer is, what their name is, if their title is treasurer or auditor or what have you, and what email to reach them at. And this is really important because this is how we know who to send the form to next year when we're doing the next opening of the cycle. So if you know that your town accountant or your city treasurer or anything like that changed, please let us know. The next section is an acknowledgement that the information is correct and that it was provided by your fiscal officer. Lastly, just for auditing purposes, you put in the name of whoever filled this form. So I just wrote in Councilmember, but you would put in your first and last name. So now I'm going to click over here on Save Drafts, right? Because I filled all this information and I decided, I just want to save it before I keep going. So I'm going to click on Summary, and all the information that I've filled out is here, so I can print this out if I want to. But we're not done with the report yet. When you click Submit, it's going to say, are you sure you want to proceed? And you're going to say yes, because this means that you're submitting the account form, so the next part of the financial report can populate. This does also mean that you're doing something that you cannot undo. So if you, for whatever reason, would need to reopen your LCC account form, you would need to reach out to your staff contact. So I'm going to say yes, because we do want to continue. Now that that's done, you see that we have a new tab that's showing up, calculate amount available for granting. And immediately I'm just gonna go up here to summary. So you see that now my report that was before 3 pages has gone up to 5 pages. And the information that is in the second part of the report that I haven't filled out yet is showing up over here. So you can see that we'll be starting with box A, box B, C, and onwards. And this is maybe something you want to print out before you actually start the report so you can see it empty. We also have the voting meeting prep sheet that you can look at and other documents that are available for you. For now, I'm going to go into calculate amount available for granting. Again, there's some information in the top giving you some instructions. The first box here in the second tab is being carried forward from the LCC account form. So this is the reason that you can't see one until you finish the LCC account form. So it's saying after all the math from last year, this is the money that there should be in the bank right now. So moving from there, you're going to do a snapshot of the current fiscal year. So if the account firm was looking at everything from FY21, now you're going to look at FY22 to date. So that means that this fiscal year started July 1st, 2021, right? And right now we are in September. So I'm going to say I'm going to fill this out today, September 16th, 2021. That's going to be the date, the end date, right? Because I know the information that is current up until right now. I'm going to say that right now we have paid out $5,000 in grants. Pending expenditures, we don't have any pending expenditures, so I'm going to say 0. Pending expenditures is used when a grantee has not submitted a reimbursement request by the time that the next cycle comes around. So maybe their event is going to happen now in December, and that's just as it was planned originally. But you haven't paid them yet because the event hasn't happened, so they don't have a reimbursement form put in yet. So if there were an event, I'm going to say there is, and there's $500, there's one grant that's going to happen in December. Select the end date for local revenue included. So again, this is a snapshot of the current fiscal year, FY22, to date. So since today is the 16th, I'm going to say this is the information that I'm providing. It's from July until now. Additional revenue, I'm going to say, yeah, there was some income interest. So I'm going to say there's like a $25 revenue happening for right now. So now we're getting to one of those fields where you have to click on Save Draft for it to calculate. Box E, available remaining balance. Click on the Save Draft button to calculate the remaining balance. I'm going to click on Save Draft right here. And now it says Save Complete. And when I scroll down, you see that the number went from 12,000 to 7,000. So that means that it's calculated that although I just told that in my bank I had 12,000, I'm also telling it, well, some time has passed, so there's been some other changes. And this is what we have right now. The next section here is coming into voting meeting decisions. That means that they are decisions that you need to convene, review, and decide as a council. And some of those are box F, local funds to keep in assets or reserve. Again, this is very similar to box 7 from the previous section, the LCC account form, where you're saying, oh, this is money that we've raised locally that we want to keep because we're going to use it next year for something. So in box F, if there's money that you want to carry over into next fiscal year, or if there's money that you want to keep outside of the granting money, you can put it here. For example, some councils fundraise and have their own projects or programs that they fund through their own local fundraising. So that's not using state allocation. If this is something that interests you, definitely reach out to your staff contact. But bringing it back, so local funds to keep is box F. This is something you should talk to the rest of your council about and say, hey, what are we doing? Because if you're not using the money for something, it should go into the granting pool so that it could be granted out. Box G, administrative funds. Administrative funds can be up to 5% of the state allocation. Right now, I'm seeing down here that my allocation, well, for my council, the allocation for my council for this year was $5,000. So that means that I can take up to 5% of 5,000. I'm not going to do the math right now, so I'm going to assume that $200 is enough. And this 200 was talked about at a meeting. We said, well, we have postage, we have some printing that we do. If we take 200, that should be enough. We vote on it, and that's why this is coming here after the voting meeting. So next up is the FY22 allocation. This is not something I can edit. This is something that's populating from the agency. Box I, amount available for granting. So this is the big number we've been wanting, right? So it says click on Save Draft. I'm going to click on Save Draft. And now I can see that the number has updated, and it says that we have 11,883 available for granting. There's nothing else to fill out. That's all we wanted to find out, right? That's what the financial reporting is for. So we know that we are keeping, you know, like a clean tab, and that all the money that you're getting, you're granting out. So I'm going to click on Submit. It's going to ask me, are you sure? If I'm sure, I'm going to say yes. If I'm not sure, I'm going to say, wait, let me not do that, and I can say no, or I can just click on Save Draft and leave it for later. So I'm going to say yes, just to show you what the process looks like. And it just took me back to my home screen. And now I can see that there's one completed report, and when I click on it, it's going to show me the financial report that we were just working on. It's been submitted. I can open it and look at it. And if I really need to, I can reopen it if I want to change something in the calculate amount available for granting. And because I'm performing a change in the sense of when I submitted this, I gave it off for it to be reviewed, right? But now I'm trying to say, oh no, wait a minute, let me have it back so I can fix it. So that's what this means. That's where you're getting that alert. If you get this alert, it means that, you know, you're changing something that affects other people, or you're changing something that is going to go out of your hands. So I'm going to say, no, you know what, it's fine. I'm okay. I'm going to leave it as is. But here I can always go back and grab the summary if I wanted to. If I want to go home, I can also do that. And that is it for the financial report. We hope that it is easy to understand and straightforward. If you have any feedback, please let us know. And we would love to have a conversation with you and get you situated and comfortable in the new system. Thank you.